These days, it's nearly impossible to find chart analysts willing to make bearish calls on XRP. Seriously, where are they hiding? It's not that they don't exist. It's just that if you think back to 2024 and even the years before, bearish predictions about XRP were everywhere. Negative takes were as common as air. But then the tables turned, XRP skyrocketed, proving the doubters wrong, and all those analysts, they zipped their smug little mouths, didn't they? They missed out on the biggest rally of this crypto cycle for large cap coins. XRP became the top performer since the election, and those critics, nowhere to be found. Of course, there are still a few out there who can't help themselves. They'll keep spouting nonsense about XRP because, let's face it, they've got a bad case of XRP derangement syndrome. The good news, I believe the best is yet to come. This cycle, XRP could finally break into price discovery and blow everyone's minds. But hey, I'm not afraid to share opposing views on this channel. Bring it on. If you're bold enough to put your XRP skepticism on full display, I'm more than happy to showcase your thoughts right here for everyone to see. All right, let me start by saying this loud and clear. I'm not a financial expert, not even close. This isn't financial advice, and you definitely shouldn't make any buy or sell decisions based on what I say here, okay? Cool, now that we've got that out of the way, let's dive in. So Cointelegraph, a publication that spent years dunking on XRP with misleading claims and flat out ridiculous price predictions, just dropped yet another spicy headline. Here it is. XRP to revisit its $1.00 realized price. These charts paint a bearish picture. Ooh, scary stuff, right? Except, nah, not really, not even a little. The article reads as follows. XRP has bounced nearly 30% after hitting a 4-month low of $1.61 amid rising tariff tensions. However, the rebound may be short-lived as technical patterns and on-chain signals now point to a deeper correction ahead. Oh no, a deeper correction. Look, if anyone's out here claiming XRP is just going to tank out of nowhere for no reason whatsoever, they've lost me completely. I'll hear you out if your argument is about the entire crypto market taking a nosedive, because yeah, in that case, XRP would likely follow the trend. But if you're isolating XRP and saying it's doomed just because, nope, hard pass. Let's not forget, XRP is still climbing back from the artificial suppression caused by the SEC's meddling. It's not done catching up, folks, not even close. Anyway, the article goes on. XRP is forming a classic bearish reversal pattern that could see its price falling by at least 40% in the coming weeks. Okay, sure. Another day, another doom prediction. The crypto market moves as a whole, people. XRP is still in the game and it's not about to tap out anytime soon. Known as the inverse cup and handle, ICNH, this pattern starts with a rounded price decline forming the cup, followed by a brief consolidation phase creating the handle, all sitting atop a shared neckline support level. You can see the schematic on the screen now. The pattern is confirmed when the price breaks decisively below the support level, potentially plummeting by the height of the formation. As of April 19th, XRP has entered the handle phase, hovering around the neckline support at $2.00. A decisive break below this level could push prices down to $1.24, marking a 40% drop. However, let's be real, predicting bearish outcomes is like throwing darts blindfolded. Something will eventually stick. Frankly, I'm skeptical. It's fair to wonder how much of this analysis is legitimate versus simply feeding into what I like to call XRP derangement syndrome. Could it play out? Sure, but unless the entire crypto market faces another meltdown, I'm not holding my breath. I'm not sure why anyone would expect anything different here. Oh, and guess who's back? Peter Brandt. Yep, everyone's favorite sufferer of XRP derangement syndrome. This guy, I mean, how many followers does he have now? Oh, right, 792,400. One of the most well-known analysts in crypto. Here's the thing. He absolutely despises XRP. And let's be honest, his track record with XRP predictions, abysmal. Every major price move in XRP's history, dead wrong. Every single one. He didn't see the most recent breakout either. For a brief moment, he started making sense, saying XRP might climb higher, but then classic Peter, he flipped bearish again. He just can't help himself. When it comes to XRP, he's like a magnet for wrong calls. Now, to be fair, he's brilliant at charting everything else. Bitcoin, spot on. Other cryptos, no problem. But mention XRP and his bias just takes over. It's like his otherwise sharp analysis becomes clouded. His brain goes into meltdown mode. Applesauce territory. You hate to see it. So now what's his latest prediction? He's calling for XRP to end the year at half its current price. Yep, half. That's his take. This, my friends, is the market we're in. Here's a look at the XRP market cap chart. The projection, XRP's market cap could drop to half of what it is now, putting the price around $1.00 based on the current circulating supply. Wild, right? Let's unpack this. A lot depends on how high XRP climbs this year. What if we hit a cycle peak and XRP soars into double digits? Then comes the inevitable correction. Looking at the upper target, the theory suggests XRP could bottom out around $2.00. Honestly, that's not entirely out there. If XRP hits double digits, an 80% pullback isn't unheard of in crypto history. Fair enough. But let's talk about everything in between. How many of us are banking on life-changing gains? Will XRP hit $10.00 only to nosedive 90%? Really 90%? I'm not sold. The last cycle didn't even see that kind of drop. And XRP was under fire from the US government. It peaked at $2.00 and briefly dipped to 28 cents in June 2022. Big pullback, yes, but 90% not quite. Massive corrections are part of crypto, sure, but 90% feels extreme. Call me skeptical, but I don't see this projection aging well. In fact, I think it'll age more like milk than wine. That's my take anyway. Let's dive back into the Cointelegraph article for a moment. XRP's inverse cup and handle pattern is reportedly mirroring its past price trends, hinting that its 2025 rally might already be maxed out. Bold claim, right? We're talking about XRP here, the heavyweight champ of crypto. Among the large cap coins in the top 100, it's sitting at number 1. And now they're saying it's peaked? Well, if XRP has topped out, then logic says the rest of the market might be in trouble too. But let's be real, I'm not buying it. Here's what's actually happening. XRP hit its all-time high of $3.40 a while back, pulled back, and is now consolidating comfortably above $2.00, at least at the time I'm recording this. Sure, it dipped below that mark briefly a couple of times, but that's just price action doing its thing. Nothing unusual here, folks. You don't need to be a chart wizard to recognize strength when you see it. This is resilience in action. So to anyone claiming XRP has hit its ceiling on the internet, no less, I say, are you sure about that? So XRP spent nearly 7 years consolidating only to break its all-time high for a fleeting moment. And that's it? Game over? Really? Are we supposed to believe this is the first bull run in history where XRP gets just one quick burst in a shorter time frame and then calls it a day? Let's rewind. Look at what happened during those few months leading up to its all-time high. It was one wild surge, sure, but to think that's the end? Come on. Are we seriously saying that unlike the last two cycles where XRP consolidated for about half a year before its final explosive top, this time is somehow different? So history just decides to take a vacation now. If you honestly believe crypto is about to take off and XRP is going to sit this one out, I hate to say it, but you've lost your mind. It just doesn't add up. Let's break it down. In previous cycles, 2018 and 2021, XRP saw sharp pullbacks to its aggregated realized price after major surges. That's no accident. Traders use the realized price as more than just a number. It's a psychological marker, representing the average price at which XRP's supply last moved. History doesn't just stop repeating itself. It's got a rhythm, and XRP's song isn't over yet. When the market price climbs well above this level, most holders find themselves enjoying profits, which can lead to either complacency or a wave of profit taking. On the flip side, when prices edge closer to the realized price, fear of losses creeps in, often triggering heavier selling pressure. Back in 2025, XRP skyrocketed past $3.20 before losing momentum, echoing familiar patterns from past bull to bear cycle. But here's the thing. Do you see the negativity in this narrative? Come on, a downside target of $1.00 in 2025, a 50% drop from current levels, really? Then they try to add weight to their argument saying XRP's $1.00 realized price aligns closely with the 200-week MA, the bear market target Cointelegraph discussed in March. Here's where I have to roll my eyes. Cointelegraph has been spewing bias about XRP for a decade now. How can I take them seriously with this? It's laughable. What am I supposed to do with this analysis? Honestly, it feels like complete garbage. And let's not even get started on Peter Brandt. The guy's track record is so bad, it's almost impressive. Even if he somehow stumbles into being right, why should I take his opinion seriously? It's like the boy who cried wolf. Why believe him now? Let's be real. Brandt is not a credible voice when it comes to XRP. And that's the truth. They can believe whatever they want, but I have a feeling none of this is going to hold up well over time. The market always turns around eventually. Global liquidity is already on the rise, and we know Bitcoin and altcoins typically lag by about 10 to 12 weeks. If history has taught us anything, we're approaching the point where prices could start moving again. Of course, there's still that wild card, the tariffs. Until they're dealt with, we might see some stagnant price action dragging on longer than expected. Fair enough. But personally, I think that hurdle is temporary. Whether it's sooner or later, that issue will get resolved. It's just a matter of time. And these people, seriously, some of them are absolutely unbearable, insufferable even. Oh, and by the way, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't ever make investment decisions based on my thoughts. If I somehow end up being right, following my advice would probably still be a terrible idea.